Welcome to another video. Last week I went over something called text-to-speech for students with disabilities, but if you're wondering about the opposite or the reverse process, speech-to-text, this is a video all for you. So let's jump into the strategy. So speech-to-text, this is a strategy for teaching students with disabilities. What is speech-to-text? Let's just jump right in. Speech-to-text, or voice-to-text is also another name, is a tool that converts verbal material into written material. Students can speak, and the program will write for them. Speech-to-text supports students in writing, obviously. So who may benefit from speech-to-text? There are a lot of different students who might benefit from this strategy. Students who struggle with the physical act of writing or typing. So if your student is in occupational therapy for writing or typing, or perhaps they are just very slow at typing and it's slowing them down in their writing, those students might benefit from speech-to-text. Also, students with learning disabilities like dyslexia may find this helpful, students with developing expressive language skills, and students with other health impairments that may affect their writing skills. I did have a student who, when he was writing, he would write and get caught up on the spelling of one word, and it would impede him from writing the rest of his essay or his written response. So he very much benefited from speech-to-text. So he wouldn't focus intently on that spelling of one little word. He could actually write down his thoughts and get his written response done with no problem. All right, so speech-to-text resources. What are we going over in this video? Well, we have Google Docs and Google Slides, sort of. We have a Google extension called Voice in Voice Typing. We have a website called Dictation, and then another website called SpeechTexter. So let's just go ahead and jump into how to use those resources. So Google Docs actually has its own voice-to-text or speech-to-text feature inside of it. So let's try to find it right now. So we go to Tools and then Voice Typing, and then you can click to speak here. So if we want a sentence, we can just say it into the mic and it'll start typing. As you can see, it works pretty well. It takes some time, and of course your student might have to go back and add periods and commas and appropriate punctuation, but that is to be expected with any speech-to-text or voice-to-text feature or extension. And then we just click it again to disable it. All right, so let's see what languages this has. This has a lot of different languages. We can even test out Spanish. Let's see, my Spanish isn't great, but we can test it out. Esta una prueba para español. Y está funcionando. Sí, fantástico. So it does seem to work in English and Spanish. It does have more languages if your students speak a language other than English and Spanish. So that is Google Docs. Unfortunately, it doesn't work as well in Google Slides, but we can try it. Tools, Voice Type Speaker Notes. This is the voice speaker, and as you can see, it types notes, but you can't type on the slides. So if you want your students to be taking notes in the slides, you can definitely tell them to use this feature, but it won't unfortunately work in the slides themselves. All right, let's move on to the next resource for voice-to-text. Voice in Voice Typing. So this is a Google Chrome extension. So let's go ahead and add it together. I'm going to select Add to Chrome, Add Extension. This is what pops up when I added it to Chrome. Let's go to Extensions, More Tools, to Extensions. Then we have all of our extensions here, and Voice in Voice Typing is enabled, so we are good there. And let's just pin it to our little extensions toolbox here. So Voice in Voice Typing, gonna pin it right here. And this is actually not a website that I can use this extension on. Let's go to a website that I can. Let's try this with an email. I'm going to tap this little microphone, period. it's typing. And you can see that it works. It's typing everything that I say, period, new line. All right, and we can click this little microphone to disable this little feature. So that is Voice In by Dictation. You can also change your language. Has United States, English. Okay, let's see if it can do Spanish. Hola, esto es una prueba para español. No funciona perfectamente, pero mi español no es perfecta. As you saw, it does do Spanish. I'm not a native Spanish speaker, so hopefully it works better for you and maybe some of your Spanish speaking students, or it also does a lot of different languages, as you can see. All right, so that was Voice In by Dictation. Let's move on to the next resource. And the next one we are using is called Dictation. It's dictation.io/speech. This is just a website we can go to, and we want to allow the website to use our microphone, obviously. So we can start speaking and it will take notes as we speak. There we go. There is an obvious lag, but it does work. And your students can copy and paste what they say on this website into a different website. If we want to change the language for this website, we can scroll all the way down and change the language. We can try it out on Spanish. Hola, esta una prueba para español y está funcionando. Fantástico. All right, so it does do Spanish fairly well, and that is dictation.io. You can get there by typing it into the website or Googling it. Let's move on to the next resource. This one is called SpeechTexter. It is just SpeechtoTexter.com. So let's test it out. Start. We want to start recording. So it's not perfect. I did say we want to start recording, but maybe I wasn't clear enough. Period. New line. Fantastic. And we can stop it, clear it. We can also format it with these tools up at the top. Let's see if we can change languages. We can with this bar over here. We can change the language to even different types of English. Hopefully your students will be able to use this website as well. There's also a website called Speechnotes. It's speechnotes.co. I find this layout a little confusing, but if none of the other resources work for you, this might be one worth checking out. It also does many languages. In addition, I will say Microsoft Word, I believe, does have a voice-to-text feature, much like Google Docs. So if you use Microsoft products, that might be something else to look into. Hopefully this video was helpful for you and you will be able to use some speech-to-text resources either in your online remote classes or when we eventually go back in person. For now, I will see you in another video.